OMT Online Dynasty. We are back here for our Week 8 game of the week following ODU's nice win there against FIU. Desperately needed. Got our Monarchs back on track. We are going to be staying in the Sun Belt Conference for this clash as we got a little Flexbone versus Flexbone, a little triple option versus triple option. Not the first time we've seen it, but what can I say? I am a sucker for these kind of offenses. I love watching them. And we had a great matchup going between Georgia Southern and Georgia State. Zach in his Georgia Southern halves 24, who has just played in almost every user game he's played at this point, after taking over about halfway through last season, has been a one score coming right down to the wire game. I don't know what it is, but he's got that something magical about him that makes him play a ton of very close games. So we are going to go over the depth charts of both of these teams. Georgia Southern is in the generic option playbook. Halves is in the Navy playbook. We're going to go through their game a little bit. Of course, we're going to have some game breaks from different conferences. We got some American, some Sun Belt, some also American, I think. We got 3 different games we're going to have game breaks on. At the end of our main event, we'll go over everything that happened in Week 8, go over full conference standings, get you a full picture of where we sit heading into Week 9, heading down the home stretch here. So let's just get straight to the depth charts. Actually, before we do that, let me mention very quickly what you're seeing here if this is the first time. This is a 32-user online dynasty that we run. We have broken them into 4 separate conferences with 8 teams in each. We are deep into conference play. Well, not really deep into it. This is our first full week of conference play. We had a full 16 user games scheduled for Week 8. Some chaos, some things going on over the holidays and stuff too. You know, some people not available. We tried to extend it a little bit. It's not always going to work out. That's totally fine. If you're interested in potentially joining the Dynasty, that is all done through the Discord. The link for that is down in the description. Just hop in there, tag me, or DM me. I will get you added to the list. I will give a fair warning right now, though. We do have 20 people on the wait list as of right now, so it might take a little bit to get your spot. I mean, we've lost 4 already this year, so we do kind of go through them a little quick. As long as you have a little bit of patience, you can get a spot in the Online Dynasty, and the wait list and everything's going to carry over into College Football 27 when that comes out as well. So I think that covers everything we really need to cover at this point. Let's just go take a look at the depth charts. We will start off with Zach and Georgia Southern. And Zach, I want to say, took over Georgia Southern over the offseason. I think this is his first year with the Eagles, but he's landed himself quite the quarterback here with Matt Chadwick. 90 overall, 84 speed, 87 excel, 90 agility, extender, option king, platinum mobile resistance. Seems like a pretty dang good quarterback for an option system here. We, of course, are going to need some halfbacks to really be able to run this. We got JJ Bradley here, number 47, and Jashawn Anderson, number 28 in here as well. So a couple good halfbacks. Who do we got at fullback? Elijah Walton, a tight end over there with a workhorse balance and recoup, 84 speed, 6'5", 240 on a tight end. Seems like a pretty good fullback. I like the looks of this system for this system that Zach is going to be running here. Wide receiver, definitely not as important. It's nice to have a big boy though, like 6'5" contested specialist Tevin Peace out there to be a run blocker for us. Then a 6'1", 200-pound Brian Green Jr. As long as we got the run blocking down and at least enough speed, which it looks like we got here with his impact dev too. This guy could be a monster in the coming years. I like the way the offense is put together, all things considered. A tight end, really not important. I think that's why we moved Walton to fullback. A lot of the Flexbone and Wishbone sets, not a ton of them use tight ends. So having him putting your best tight end at fullback, I think, is the thing that makes sense. I know a lot of people would do, what is it, like elusive bruiser or something, recruit a halfback like that and move him to fullback. Also a viable option. Defensively, Georgia Southern, we do get a pocket disruptor here on Jeremiah Ticket, Keba Seka with a duress. I would have him starting at one of the edge spots. I mean, it's better than workhorse. It's a lot better than nothing. A lot of workhorses on this Georgia Southern defense. I know Zach had mentioned he does want to bring Georgia Southern back to the good old days when they're crushing the FCS, running some option offense. So we'll see how he can do today. We got to be playing Josh Pytonio somewhere. Yeah, okay. I was going to say, is a redshirt freshman with star dev and 92 speed, 6'2", 234. He's got to be on the field in some fashion here, Josh Pytonio. I mean, really, for a 71 overall squad, I like the looks of this team. I do. I think for such a short amount of time, put together a very solid squad. Need a little bit more speed at safety, but a solid defensive line, pretty good linebackers. I like the looks of the offense. I like the looks of Zach in his Georgia Southern Eagles. So let's go check out halves in his Georgia State Panthers. We have featured on Game of the Week before because the guy keeps playing incredible games. Of course, we got the Bellin Wall at quarterback, 91 speed, 94 excel, magician, option king, shifty, sidestep, another great quarterback to have in a system like Navy's in this triple option offense. Halfback wise, we did lose, what was it, DJ Murray Jr. ended up going to James Madison, but we still got some studs in this backfield with 94 speed KJ Jackson, shifty and sidestep, 92 speed Darius McIver with takeoff, 97 XL on both of them. And then even behind him, we got some good guys in here. You definitely need good depth at your halfback position. Let's see what he does with fullback. He moves an elusive bruiser halfback over to fullback, kind of like what we were mentioning just a second ago going over Georgia Southern. Wide receiver, 94 speed Austin McGee, 5'8", 165. I do think Georgia State likes to pass a little bit more. They like to come out in like flexbone, close or tight, one of the two, I can never remember, and plays a lot of things off of rocket toss, including some rollout passes. And I think one of the formations he does actually utilize tight ends. So having a Sage Reynolds and a Kyle Washington, which, I mean, that's obviously a wide receiver or something converted to tight end at 5'8", 177, which I think we've mentioned before. But Sage Reynolds, 6'3", 88 speed. So a couple really solid tight ends, good receivers, good halfback, pretty good quarterback for a 65 overall team. This team, that offense looks really, really good. There's a reason he's heading into this game 6-0. Defensively, we see nothing on our edges. We have a pocket disruptor on our D tackle. Nice 89 speed Sam linebacker. Decent enough speed at Mike C. The overall doesn't mean all that much, in my opinion. As long as you get the good speed in the right spots, you'll mostly be okay. At least that's what I tell myself for ODU not having a high overall yet. We're still at 76. But yeah, I mean, look at this free safety. 90. I mean, he is an 85 overall, but 91 speed, 6'3" with a blow up. Strong safety, 87 speed, 6 foot tall. So I really like the looks of both of these teams. I think they're both set up pretty dang well to run Georgia Southern with a generic option, Georgia State with a Navy option. I think the defenses have some solid pieces, and I know we're in for a good game. I don't know exactly what happens. I know what the final score is. I'm excited to see how we get there. So that should cover everything in our little intro here. We are ready. Let's just take it to the game. Zach versus halves, option versus option, Georgia Southern, Georgia State, week 8, game of the week. Let's go. It will be Georgia Southern, starting with the rock here. Like we usually do here, we will sit through their first full drives of each team. We want to get an idea of how these offenses are going to be playing here. Coming out in some power I first. I mean, the generic option playbook, I was very impressed with. Good user defense there to fill that gap. It is probably my favorite of the option playbooks between the service academies and including that, just because you get some extra like wishbone things in there. You get a lot of extra stuff that's just not in any of the service academies. So I am a fan of that. We went aggressive on our option read keys here. That's interesting. Usually you see people go conservative aggressive. I'm curious to see how this plays, because we are going to be playing both of these teams in the coming weeks too. So this is going to double as a nice little scouting report for us. Matt Chadwick under center. Eddie Guerrero, number 23 in the backfield here for Georgia Southern. Let's see what we're going to go with. A little stretch out to the left. Big boy number 52 tries his best to get in the backfield and blow that up, but Eddie Guerrero lies, cheats, and steals his way for almost a first down. 3rd and inches early for Georgia Southern. See if we're going to stay in that I form. Oh, we're staying in a form of I. All right, Maryland I. Extra guy in the backfield here. So we got number 29, Hashim Lipscomb in the backfield with number 83, Elijah Walton, the fullback, all leading the way for Eddie Guerrero, finding his gap up the left side there. 3 rushes, 14 yards, and early first down. And now we get some flexbone from Georgia Southern. Here we go. Let's see what this play call is going to be. An option motion going out to the right. We just give it to our guy, Elijah Walton, the fullback, dive right up the gut, takes it for 25 yards. That's why you just move in a good explosive, either an elusive bruiser or even a tight end like Walton. Get him in a playmaking spot. Let him go make plays. Beautiful first run there for Walton. Now we're back in flexbone normal. Let's see what we're going to do here. So I know rocket toss is typically one of the best plays between the flex bones. We don't really have to worry about it much on the left hash because as long as his quarterback's right-handed, which I didn't double check that really only works going to the left. So I'm not concerned about a rocket toss. We are, I think that, aggressive. I don't even remember. Does that focus on the pitch or the dive and the pitch? I believe it does. So I'm surprised to see the dives being left so open. I mean, that was only 3 yards, so I guess I can't say it's that open. We're going big man blitzes here on defense so far when he's coming out in this Flexbone normal. Not adjusting our defensive line at all. Going right back to Walton up the gut, and again this time. We popped that first one, but now the last two, Georgia State's defense has been in there to bring him down. Flexbone normal. Also, because we're doing some stunts here, we're going with a little El Paso 4-man. Okay, let's see how this works. I like the use of stunts. Try to bring down this run game. There's the fake rocket toss, roll out to the right. User doesn't bite on it at all, but falls a little bit behind the receiver. Setting up a 4th and 1 is Guerrero. It's just so much easier for me to say Guerrero. It's forced out just short. Of course, we're going to go back to that power eye, go back to that power run, see if Georgia State can conjure up an early stop here. 3.5 to go. Already working clock here a little bit. Going to the goal line defense, see if the user can fly in there. He cannot, and Guerrero breaks the tackle, fights off the man, picks up the first down. Looks like the user had a shot to fly in there, but Georgia Southern's blocking ends up picking him up and picking up the first down. Now, here's some of the wingbone stuff that's really, I mean, Air Force has a little. I think they have 2 or 3 wingbone formations. But the generic option, I want to say, has 5 or 6. And I really think the wingbone adds a good wrinkle into the offenses as well. There's a lot of still really fun options and really fun plays you can call out of here. There's a motion going back to the right, another dive right up the gut, and again, Elijah Walton on the run up the middle, picking up 9 yards. He's been a bit of a monster so far here for the Eagles on just those dives right up the gut. Staying in our wingbone split wing X. Going with the left Tom 2-man, trying to get somebody to come inside to... Oh, and Walton is a little tired. He is actually out of this play. That is Hashim Lipscomb in the backfield this time. He is going to keep it on the dive again. That time, though, I don't know if that was the stunt or just the defensive line making a play, but brings him down short. 3rd and inches. Let's see, are we going to go back to one of those heavy sets, a Maryland eye, a power eye, something like that to try to pick up this first down? Now we're staying in some wingbone, and we got our big boy Walton back in the backfield here yet again. Let's see what this is going to be. 23 probably going to be coming in motion to the left. There he goes. It is just going to be right back to our big boy Walton, and he ain't going to go down easy. That gold workhorse really coming in handy here so far for Georgia Southern. So Walton will take that and pick up the first down, set up a 1st and goal at the 7. Nice methodical. I mean, we had that 125-yard run. Other than that, this has just been death by 1,000 paper cuts, which is kind of exactly what you're hoping for here, running one of these option offenses. 1st and goal, a Flexbone normal now. Is this actually going to be the rocket toss? It is, and he is going to get outside. J.J. Bradley takes a rocket toss to the left pylon in for the Georgia Southern touchdown. Beautiful opening drive there of some Flexbone offense, and that is going to take us to our first game break of the day here in an American Conference clash between Army and Bowling Green. Army 3-3, Bowling Green 1-5, trying to get one on the board here. 4 minutes left in the first. Army swings it out to the left to the halfback, and nothing but green grass in front of him. Can he beat the defense to the edge? He cannot. Number 49 ends up dragging him down from behind, setting up 1st and goal at the 1 here for the Black Knights, where we are just going to go ahead and give it another run. Give it to number 21 this time, a big heavy set. Get him to jump off sides, but it doesn't even matter. Number 21 will just take that right up the gut for the Army touchdown. Put them up 7-0 early in the first here. And actually, while we're here... because that first drive took so long. Let's get one more game break in here. App State against James Madison. A 7-0 lead early for the Dukes. We know how good James Madison is, but we know how tall the receivers of Appalachian State are. We get a one-on-one over on the right with our guy Bill Dozier, the bulldozer. Just throw it on up to him. He's going to go make a dang play for us. Comes down with that one, setting up a 1st and goal at the 7. And I just saw some big action we actually just missed. Touchdown Appalachian State to make it 7-7. We got to rewind for a second here to see what happened on this play to start the drive for Georgia State. After the kick return, Georgia State's got it at their own 14, a 1st and 10, minute and a half to go. Goes for the toss out to the, I got to see that one more time. He just tried to run a toss to the right, and the Georgia Southern defender just got in the way and forced a fumble. No, it hit his own guy. Oh no. What play is that so he can know never to run that? Oh my goodness. I got to see the play call here. I'm sorry. Power eye strong halfback toss. And it just bonks his own guy right in the head. This is from Georgia State's perspective, so he didn't like change his blocking or anything. Just his own fullback gets in the way and forces the fumble. What a nightmare start for the Panthers here. Georgia Southern marches right down the field. We try to get some power runs right back on them, and instead our own guy blocks forces a fumble. That's devastating. So now it's a 1st and goal for Georgia Southern. We're back in the power eye, trying to find our gap up the middle there. Good user defense to get in there and at least, you know, didn't bring him down, but slowed him down enough so the team could come help out and make that tackle. 2nd and goal at the 6. Back to our Flexbone normal. Let's see if this is going to be another run to Walton up the gut. It should have been. It looked pretty wide open. Goes for the pitch, but that's where that aggressive setting comes in. The Georgia State defense was ready for that pitch to come. I mean, we've had such good success with Walton on those runs up the middle. I thought for sure that's what we were going to be going with there, but I don't think that was even actually an option. I think that was just like a counter option where you couldn't even give it to Walton if you wanted to. Coming out in the X dig, good user defense to go follow that, but there's Walton sneaking his way out of the backfield. The little delayed curl on your fullback in X dig leaves the middle wide open because you have to go respect that drag going to the left. If not, that was a touchdown. Kind of a pick your poison there for Georgia State. And Georgia Southern, what a hot start for the Eagles, 14-0. And now we see Georgia State coming out in that Flexbone close formation that they like so much. It does look like we're going to be in a pass here. Sending a blitz, getting outside the pocket there with Bellin, finding the gap between the zone defenders and just keep it yourself, the Bellin wall. Take it for a nice gain of 18. Just try to calm things down a little bit. If we're Georgia State, it's been obviously a nightmare start for us, and obviously that's not going to count as their first drive we're going to watch, but it's been the worst start we could possibly imagine for us. So let's just relax, let's calm things down just a little bit and get some things going. See, now he goes to the rocket toss, and there goes number 21. That's Tuwan Payton, Tajon Payton, something like that. T-O-J, Tuwan. Go with that. Peyton taking it to the left edge. We saw Georgia Southern score on a rocket toss. We see Georgia State picking up a huge chunk of yards on it. I'm telling you, rocket toss is like the best play in the game. So we get the motion, trying to roll out again with Bellin. Good user defense there. Did still try to fit it into X, and it actually looked like we could have got it, but it just kind of bonked off his guy's head there. Falls incomplete. 2nd and 10. Going to some over doubles now. Bellin took a shot at the end of that one. So we got a few different motion things going on here, trying to burn him deep over on the right. We just saw so much man coverage. We're seeing maybe we can take a shot here. We try indeed pass lead that inside. Unfortunately, just a little bit too much there. A missed throw by Bellin. Send him a 3rd and 10. Ball at the 34, potentially in field goal range, but down, I mean, it's still so early. A wingback empty. So I know he likes the jet sweep out of here, and he likes all go out of here, which all go is very good out of here. So we got our choice, but kind of between the, oh my goodness, Bellin. The bell of the ball. What are we doing there, buddy? We got that open. It just hits his receiver in the foot and falls incomplete. We are going to settle for a field goal attempt here for the Panthers. See if we can't get on the board. Wind, not really a concern. Lining up the kick, looks pretty dang good. Kicks up, it is good. So 14-3, got some life, had some good plays on that drive, got some points on the board. We'll take it. Now we'll start jumping around a little bit. Georgia State forced a 3 and out on defense there, and then Bellin actually took off for another big carry for, oh my goodness, Bellin throws it behind the drag. But yeah, Bellin took it for a 30-something yard carry. Gets the ball onto Georgia Southern's side of the 50. So a good defensive stand there from the Panthers. Good first play, but I just don't know if we can trust Bellin to make any throw right now. I mean, he has missed every single throw so far, it seems like. Can we just roll out and run? he actually made a pretty good throw there, but back broken of Darius McIver on that little flood play. 3rd and 10 now. 0 for 5 passing, and really, I mean, that one was actually a pretty good ball by Bellin. The other 4 were pretty rough. So going back to this verticals play, see if he's going to try that same thing or just take off. Just take off with Bellin, cut it. Yeah, okay. Whoa. Not exactly sure what happened there, but it looked like Bellin got broken in half. So now, though, we can go for this. It's a 4th and 2, ball at the 34. We know we have the kicker that can make it, but once we get to a 4th and 2, I think I like the go for it idea here. Let's see what the play call is going to be for the Panthers. I don't hate trying to get Bellin to roll out again. I feel like we've had those rollouts every time, but it is going to be a triple option going out to the right. And we're going to keep it on the dive up the middle, and we get stuffed. Oh, it did look like it was there. We just need 21. We need a little bit of fight out of our guy there to be able to pick that up. That's Tawan Payton again. Unable to get anything going, and that's going to send us to another game break here. Back to Army and Bowling Green, a 7-7 ball game. 5 minutes left here in the second quarter. Bowling Green with the rock. Let's see what they are going to do with it. A 3rd and 9. A lot of press coverage here from Army. We know they don't have the best secondary. We are going to lob one up deep down to the left, and the Army secondary cannot keep up with Mr. Clay of Bowling Green, setting up a 2nd and goal at the 4. Go with the RPO, a little tight end pop right up the gut at you. Touchdown Falcons. They end up taking a 14-7 lead in that one. Let's get back to our main event. And we can actually just keep it here and watch this 3rd and 6 for Georgia Southern. Again, Georgia State's defense has shown up here. That first drive by the Eagles was very efficient, very good. Since then, you know, their 7 points came after that fumble, set them up at the 7. But then we've had a 3 and out and potentially another one coming here with this 3rd and 6. Motioning out of I form into shotgun. Nasty behavior by our guy Zach. Going and rolling out with Matt Chadwick, looking over to the right. He has the flat on the right and just sends it into the, I mean, this is the old Atlanta Braves Stadium. That was a home run ball, that's for sure. That was sent out into the crowd. So 4th and 6, Georgia Southern is going to punt it back to Georgia State, giving that offense another shot to bring this down to 1 score before half. After the punt and a 3-yard carry on a rocket toss, Georgia State's got it. 2nd and 7 at their own 43, coming back out in that wingback empty. Looks like we are going with that wingback sweep. Indeed, we are. It does go to our guy KJ Jackson. The Jackson 7 gets the edge, outruns the entire Eagles defense. Jackson in for the big play touchdown for the Panthers, pushing this back to a 4-point game. I imagine we're just taking our 1 here. Indeed, we are. The converted quarterback, KJ Jackson, taking that one to the house. That is going to send us to 1 more game break here. I was going to say our last one of the first half, but that's not quite true. We actually have 3 for this half, or 3 for this quarter. Typically, we do 2, but there's too much going on. So back to App State versus JMU. James Madison has taken a pretty commanding lead here, 21-7, 3 minutes and 14 seconds left in the second. Going with a little RPO out to the left. We know he loves those little bubble RPOs because you just don't see him coming in a 2x2 set like that. Goes with the big blitz. Everybody bites on the play fake, and that is in for a JMU touchdown. And that is honestly going to do it for that one. James Madison ends up with the win, 56-14. They stay undefeated in the Sun Belt here so far, puts them to 6-1 overall. Pretty dang good start for those James Madison Dukes. Now let's see if Georgia Southern's offense can find any bit of momentum here. Just about 2 minutes to go, 2nd and 8 at their own 27, and there goes the Matt Chadwick on the quarterback counter. He keeps it his dang self. He is going to end up getting brought down there, but what a run by Chadwick. Both of these quarterbacks really showcasing their legs here now. That's the first time we've seen Chadwick be able to take off like that, and boy, did they need it. There's a little bit of spark. There's a little bit of life for this Eagles offense, which since that first drive, we really haven't seen much. Back out in the Maryland I, the fullback, another halfback, all lined up behind Matt Chadwick. Just again going with that power run up the left, and boy, those guys get second level quick. Elijah Walton and Hashim Lipscomb really just fly and pick up those linebackers so quickly. Why the world, coach? Was this coach suggestions all just field goal block? I mean, against Maryland it might not be the worst idea. Coach might be onto something here. We're going to try a little goal line and see how that's going to work for Georgia State. I mean, we're imagining it's a very similar thing, but number 54 comes over, it flies in, brings him down from behind. Good play there by number 54. Second and goal now at the 6. We're going to stay Maryland power maybe back to the Flexbone normal and a fullback dive. I wouldn't hate that. We've seen really good success on those fullback dives, so I would not hate to see one out of here. We're going with Flexbone close. See, against the goal line, though, this should stop it, I would think. Ooh, I would have liked the rocket toss against goal line, though. Nowhere for Chadwick to go. Oh, my goodness. Look at the wiggles. Look at the wiggles on Matt Chadwick. We are going to have to get a replay on this one. How in the world did that hard flat on the right just do nothing on this? That's pretty brutal. We are all over this. There is nowhere for him to go. The hard flat just kind of stands still. He just stood totally still and just turned and watched as Matt Chadwick danced his way down the sideline. The tightrope walk puts Georgia Southern back on the board and back up by 11. Let's do one more game break here in the first half. This will be our last one until the third quarter. Back to Army against Bowling Green. Bowling Green now has found themselves up 21-14 with 2 minutes to go left in the second quarter here. A 3rd and 9 for Army, though, down on the 20-yard line, threatening to tie this one back up. Goes for the swing out to the left, but number 21 of Bowling Green is having none of it. He plays that absolutely perfectly. Not an Army Black Knight in sight, as he will take that in. Well, eventually the quarterback came. He will take that in for a pick six, puts Bowling Green up 28-14 before halftime in that one. We'll pick it up here with 50 seconds left in the half. A big 3rd and 10 coming for Georgia State, trying to push this back to one score before half. Going back to our all-go, finding the space out there with Bellin. I feel like that has been there most of the day. Being able to get out and run with Bellin has been a huge threat for Georgia State. I mean, he's not doing a whole heck of a lot in the air for us. So if he can get out and run, that would be great. Staying in our empty, let's see, here comes the motion, wingback sweep. Yes, sir. Trying to cut it up there with the Jackson 7, but that time Georgia Southern was ready for it. Keep him just to a gain of 2. We only got one timeout left here. 30 seconds, ball at the 20, right on the red zone. Let's see, are we going to be staying in that empty? Go back to verticals, maybe? Would be my guess. Let's see. Yep, going back to some verts, this time with a drag coming from the right, and it is wide open. I don't know if that was some match or some man coverage, what exactly that was from Georgia Southern, but that drag getting open, setting up a 1st and goal now at the 4. Now we got some action picking up here, boys. That's Darius McIver on that drag getting open for him. This has to be wingbacks. No, I mean, he's doing some out routes. It is indeed a pass. Again, 4 verticals, try to roll out, hits the little whip route over there to number 84, George Pike, wins on the whip against the man coverage. Georgia State in for the touchdown with 11 seconds left before halftime, making this one 21-17. What a fun game this is. Only 6 seconds left in the first half here. We'll see. Georgia Southern, maybe they can pull a rabbit out of their hat here before halftime. Who started with the ball? No idea. Who could possibly say? I couldn't tell you. We are going with the triple option out to the left here with Chadwick. Whoa! Gets the late pitch off to number 89. Number 42 of the Georgia State defense looked like he was potentially out there to make a play. Decides against it. Decides I'm just going to run right on past him and let number 89, Howie Kanoy, take this one down the sideline, giving them one last shot from the 45. With, I mean, Chadwick's a pretty good quarterback. I bet he has enough of an arm to actually get one down there. We are going with some prevent, but pressed. Okay, only a 3-man rush, so we're gonna have time. Chuck one up. We could, I mean, hope for the best. Maybe. Almost. Number 11 nearly climbs that ladder, make that play, but that is gonna take us to halftime. 21-17. We're gonna do the full wraparound that sometimes we do during halftime. That's all gonna be at the end of the game, so we will just skip ahead here a little bit. And it doesn't take us long to get back to the action as Georgia State is down to the Georgia Southern 34 after actually another nice little pass there by Bellin. He's starting to find his rhythm a little bit after that real rough start we've seen. This is definitely the rocket toss. Yeah, once they're on like that right hash, you really have to start worrying about rocket toss. Right-handed quarterback, rocket toss goes to the left. So when they're on the right hash, we have to worry about it. If they're on the left hash, not really super concerned about it. So now Georgia State is going to be coming out in some power I. We've seen this work pretty well for Georgia Southern. They have, maybe it's not the exact same power I, okay? Back off. But we've seen Georgia Southern use a similar power I pretty dang well so far. Let's see if we can find some space here with KJ Jackson. Not really the workhorse there, number 58 it looked like, of Georgia Southern, gets on his back to help bring him down, slow him down enough so his boys can come help out here. Now 2nd and 8, are we going back to over doubles, going back to that? Is that bang 8 seam? Is that the play he's been calling? I believe it is. Then he tries to hit, and then a crosser over there. So you have the bang 8 route on 18, and then a deep crosser on 17. If this is man, one of them's getting open against zone, I don't know, but we can always just take off with Bellin and cut your way inside. Bellin wall takes a bit of a late hit there, kind of a cheap shot in my opinion from Georgia Southern, but Bellin wall, his legs have been the biggest difference maker so far. Able to get out, able to make some things happen, cuts his way inside, finds the end zone, touchdown Georgia State. They are going to be taking a 3-point lead in this back and forth affair after being down 14-0. Great resolve from this Georgia State team. That'll take us to our first game break here of the second half, and our first one of Toledo against Navy. Toledo jumped out to an early, pretty big lead in this one, but Navy is not going to go down that easy. 28-7 with 4 minutes left here in the third. Navy with the football in a little shotgun set, trying to attack vertically here. We will roll out just a little bit. We are going to chuck one up, and our big boy wide receiver is going to go up and go make a dang play for us. 1st and goal now at the 3 for Navy, down by 21. We can go back to a pass here out of a little slot left looking formation. We are going to find R1 yet again, right down the seam, right into the end zone, making it 28-14. Navy not going so quietly into this dark night. Now pressure back on this Eagles offense, which has been pretty hot and cold so far. Started hot, had a little cold stretch, but then put together some good stuff there at the end of the first half. Coming back out in our Flexbone normal, back out in X-Dig. Again, finds the little delayed, oh my goodness, finds the delayed curl wide open over the middle of the field, but he gets absolutely blasted by the Georgia State defense, and the ball comes loose. Panthers recover. What a swing here. The Panthers defense been playing much better since that opening drive of the game. We saw him force multiple 3-and-outs. Now our first turnover of the game, and that could be a massive one if the offense can take advantage of this situation. Looks like, oh, okay, we're taking a timeout. Never mind. Calm down. Relax. But so far, not much. It sets up a 3rd and 7. We are going to go for that drag over to the left. I can't blame, as much as I'd like to blame Bellin for that, I can't. I think that's just part of having a converted quarterback, or maybe he was just an athlete. I'm pretty sure he was a quarterback, but having him converted wide receiver might be a little tough to make those contested catches. That is going to force Georgia State to actually have to punt it right back to Georgia Southern. I do that on punts literally all the time. I don't punt often, but when I do, that's about a 50-50 shot of happening. Hold that power just a little bit too far, and it's a little duck kick. So Georgia Southern taking over back at their own 29. Really no harm, no foul for the fumble, but the guy still got rocked. And his luck would have it. Now we got a 2nd and 11 for Georgia Southern. They're going back to that QB counter option that worked so well before. It looks to work pretty well again. We've got room. But Chadwick fights through a couple tackles too many, and eventually the Georgia State defender comes from behind. Mason Harmon brings him down and punches that ball out. Another fumble for Georgia Southern. Just an unlucky string of events. Let's see if that defense can stand up one more time and at least keep him to a field goal. Obviously would be massive. A little pistol full house here. Goes, ooh, that was a pretty late pitch. That was pretty dang close to getting that ball right back. Sometimes those pitches, if you're getting kind of wrapped up like that, those can just get flung to no man's land. Luckily that time it doesn't end up in the hands of KJ Jackson, and a loss of 2 is much better than the alternative on that. So again, we got to watch a rocket toss here because he is on the right hash in this flexbone formation, but then he plays off of it and goes to the rollout, but nobody there. This Georgia sub, both these defenses have really put it together here in this second half, really forcing some mistakes, getting some fumbles, getting some turnovers, getting some sacks, making negative plays happen. Both the defenses made some very good halftime adjustments here. So now a 3rd and 22, we're going to go back to that bang 8 play. Probably just going to try to pass lead this inside on triangle if we can, but the user is there, so we cannot. And we actually got somebody out there to watch Bellin, but he's actually able to find KJ Jackson down the field. Now we have a manageable 4th down, 4th and 5 at Georgia Southern's 45. Great play there by Bellin to be able to keep his composure as the defender was running straight at him. And he gets that to KJ Jackson. So 35 seconds left, ball at the 45, 4th and 5. What are we going to go to here if we're Georgia State? What's kind of been our money plays so far? It's really been running with Bellin. So I wouldn't hate to see some sort of rollout here to the right with Georgia State. Here comes some late pressure. We try to get it in there to KJ Jackson. The big blitz forces a bit of an earlier throw than I think we would have liked, and Jackson is brought down short. Georgia Southern's defense, for having the offense just hand the ball over twice in a row, they stand tall twice in a row and keep this a 3-point game with 24 seconds left in the third. We have got one more game break coming here. Yeah, this timing is perfect. Third quarter, 26 seconds left. Back to Army in Bowling Green. Bowling Green up by 14, but Army now down to the 14-yard line. No pick sixes this time. We are going to hit that Texas route right over the middle of the field. Army, Timeless Raven, in for the touchdown, making that 38 to 31, 7-point game there in Bowling Green. We got a 3rd and 6 for Georgia Southern. Really needs something from the offense here, and we go back to that rocket toss. The play we scored the touchdown earlier. We find some more room again, and that is why Eddie Guerrero was not on the depth chart. It was buried at the very bottom. He does get injured in this game, unfortunately, for Georgia Southern, but JJ Bradley picks up a good chunk of change there, putting them at the 43-yard line. Down by 3, just about in field goal range. Going to be back in Flexbone normal. We're going back to our guy Walton. Yeah, but good user defense there again. He stays put. He's ready for that. I was just going to say I'm surprised we haven't seen more Walton since that first drive. That's really, we had Walton was really killing him on that opening drive. I'm surprised we haven't gone back to that quite as much yet. We are staying in Flexbone normal here. We're going back to X dig, going back to an option. Let's see what Georgia Southern wants to do. Goes back to the option. Walton actually tries to take that one to the outside and gets stuffed. I don't know, maybe that was an accidental keep to Walton. He tries to bounce it outside, not going to be his strong suit, and Georgia State's defense all over him. 3rd and 10, ball at the 42. I can't imagine we're in field goal. No, they want him to get another 7.5 yards before he can pick up this first, or before we should try a field goal, according to the game. But what do they know? Nothing. So 3rd and 10. We'll be back. Now Georgia Southern coming out in that Flexbone close that we see Georgia State utilize so much. I wouldn't hate another rocket toss to Bradley, to be honest. It's been there. I think we've only gone into it twice, at least that we have seen, and it's been there every time. Or try out to run with Chadwick, but we go a little angle route to JJ Bradley, wide open over the middle of the field, finds a little bit of gap, finds a little bit of space. Ooh, that is unfortunate. Broken collarbone for Eddie Guerrero. Probably done for the season after that. But JJ Bradley, beautiful route, beautiful space, beautiful first down to the 14-yard line. Now we're back in our I formation. So this is a little different than the I form we saw Georgia State running. This is just the one fullback in the backfield trying to pop one outside with JJ Bradley. I like the looks of this Bradley character. We haven't seen him do a whole heck of a lot. 4 rushes, 41 yards, and a touchdown, and caught that last pass. And he seems to have enough speed. He's able to take those outside a little bit. He steamrolled that guy. I mean, I'm liking what we're seeing out of the Great White Hope, JJ Bradley, who is in the backfield here yet again. This is probably going to be another one of the halfback slam or whatever it is. Just kind of an inside run following 83 and 29, following our guys Walton and Lipscomb. Going to be leading the way here as we are manually chewing clock. That's unfortunate. 5 seconds left on the play clock. We will go ahead and snap that one. It does go to Bradley. See, maybe these guys, they want to block for Eddie Guerrero. Maybe they don't want to block for JJ Bradley. That's another factor we have to consider here. The locker room, maybe they're torn apart. You know, it's everybody was back in 2007. Pretty sure. Yeah. I'm fairly confident it was 2007. I remember exactly where I was too when I heard that Eddie Guerrero died. It was pretty devastating. Yeah, I was 18 at the time. You'd think I'd have been a child with the way I'm talking about it, but no, I was 18. Okay, so 3rd and 4, back to manually chewing clock here. I'm not sure why we don't just turn chew clock on. Maybe there's some reason for it so we can get a little bit more time to adjust and do different things if we want to. Look at JJ Bradley. Look at this young man. Looks like he's stuffed short on a third down there, but he fights his way through countless Georgia State defenders to pick up that first down somehow, some way. We're staying in the Maryland eye here. I mean, I imagine we're going to be waiting for about 20 seconds before this ball is snapped. Indeed we are. We just got to turn shoe clock on. At a certain point, so we're not just standing there waiting for 20 seconds. That one goes to number 28, who I actually don't even have written down, so I don't know who that is, but he gets stopped for no gain anyway. Second and goal at the 4. Georgia State taking a timeout. 2 minutes and 20 seconds to go. So do we just stay in the heavy? Maybe. Oh, Flexbone tight. Okay. Hey, I love rocket toss out of these formations. I would love to see a rocket toss out of here, especially against goal line. Oh, we do kind of a fake rocket toss and try to pitch it out to Walton over to the right. See, that's kind of the problem with having a tight end in that spot who's not super fast. He's only like 84 speed, so it's hard for him to really take advantage on some of those situations. But third and goal now at the 3. Again, would like a rocket toss out to the left here. That is what it is. There goes Bradley. Can we beat him to the corner? We can indeed. Come out in the condensed formation. Let the defense condense along with you. And then rocket toss it to the outside. JJ Bradley been the star of the show here so far for Georgia Southern. Touchdown. Eagles taking a 4-point lead, 2 minutes 11 seconds to go. We got one more game break coming here from Army and Bowling Green. 7-point game. Bowling Green with the ball. 4.5 minutes left in this one. 2nd and 5. Threatening. Lobs one up down deep, and that man is gonna go make that catch. Touchdown Bowling Green. Puts them up by 14 and essentially is the end of that game. Bowling Green is gonna win that one 45-37. An absolute shootout in the American Conference. A big win for Bowling Green. I think that puts them at something like 2-4, 2-5 on the season. Really needed that for momentum here as we're coming down the home stretch for our new Bowling Green user. Good win for you there. That was another fun game. Was also in consideration for game of the week, but how can I turn down Flexbone versus Flexbone? All right, let's see what Georgia State's got here. Down by 4, 2 minutes and 11 seconds to go. We picked up a quick first down here. We see the end of it. Pass to Darius McIver out of our all go from wing or whatever, Flexbone empty. Now we're going back to that wingback sweep, it looks like, to KJ Jackson. We are indeed. We've seen the big play potential of this once already. Let's see how it goes this time. It's up to the user who just falls. I don't know. It looks like we tried to make the dive tackle, but he just kind of crumpled down to the ground, and KJ Jackson strikes again. Hit him with the dance moves there. The Jackson 7, the Forgotten 2, makes the Jackson 7 in for the score, and Georgia State taking the 3-point lead right back. 1:46 to go. Now, what is Georgia Southern gonna do with this little time left? We know they like to take their time on offense. They like to dink and dunk or just power run, but we just don't have the time to do that anymore. Let's see what they are going to put together. Actually, well, right now, let's go to our very last game break of the game so we don't interrupt anything else. Toledo against Navy. Navy has made a full-on comeback here. It is 28-21 with 49 seconds to go, and Navy with the ball from down 28-7. We are in this with a shot, 50 seconds to go. Let's see. A big man blitz here, it looks like, coming to mug the gap. It is indeed mid blitz. We try to go over the middle of the field, and unfortunately the Toledo defense is right there. Gets the pick 6. It's gonna be the end of that one. Toledo gets the win against Navy. Toledo off to a pretty solid start so far in that American Conference. Let me get it pulled up over here so we can just take a quick look at that while we see what's going on. Just real quick, bang, 35-21. Toledo gets the win. Number 15 ranked in the country heads to Navy and gets a big win there. So that is it for our game breaks. Now we can just watch the last minute 40, see what Georgia Southern can do, and the stunt comes flying in there from the Panthers, makes Chadwick just try to throw out a sack, and luckily that one just fell incomplete. Now a little pistol full house. Okay, I do love the triple option out of here, but with a minute 40, I mean, we do still have 3 timeouts. We can definitely still run that ball. Here comes that stunt again. That right end just comes flying straight through into the backfield, but we're able to dump it down quick to Walton, another MVP of the day for Georgia Southern, to pick up 8 yards. Minute 34, ball just about at midfield. We don't need a ton to get into field goal range and potentially force overtime here. So let's see, we're going back to the I-form. I mean, we definitely have time and the timeouts. We can 100% still run this ball. Oh my goodness, look at the block shed. And still, JJ Bradley nearly got in there and made something happen there. That was absolutely blown up. He had nowhere to go on that, but he just gets that defensive tackle right off of him and sets up a 4th and 1. Now Walton gets hurt with elbow bursitis. That must have not been too serious of a one, because he was still on the depth chart, unlike Eddie Guerrero. So 4th and 1, power eye tight for the game, essentially. Minute and a half against some goal line defense. I like the goal line defense against this. Yep, and they just fly in there and absolutely blow it up. Only so much we can do there for JJ Bradley. We got 4 defenders right in our face. And that is really going to be it for this one, I believe. 2 timeouts left. Oh, maybe not quite. With 2 timeouts, 1 more first down and this one is over. I had the timeouts flipped in my head for some reason, even though I just mentioned multiple times Georgia Southern has timeouts. So let's see, gonna go back to the, on the right hash, go back to the rocket toss, and that is gonna do it. One last rocket toss to seal this win for Georgia State. What a game from both of these guys. Georgia State just always plays in great games. I don't know how, I don't know why, but they just always playing great games. I mean, we could just knee this out at this point, I think, maybe not. No, we could. Yeah, we could. Gonna chew clock, run out the rest of the clock. It does end 31-28, so spoiler alert, nothing else happens. 31-28 is our win for Georgia State in this game of the week. That puts them at 7-0 with like a 65 overall team. Guys, he's got that Navy system working for him. 432 yards of offense for Georgia State, 300 for Georgia Southern. Pretty even. Look at the rushing though. 43 for 222, Georgia Southern. 26 for 305, Georgia State. We saw a couple of those big runs by KJ Jackson was really the difference when it comes to these rushing stats. 7 for 10 passing, that's what we like to see out of somebody in the option playbook, versus 9 for 18 for Bellin, who started, 0 for 6, 0 for 7, so he was able to turn that around at least a little bit. That early turnover was insane for Georgia State. And then the 2 fumbles for Georgia Southern, just a crazy back and forth game. GG's to both of our guys, Zach and Havs, on that one. Now we can just do a quick whip around everything that happened in week 8 throughout all of the conferences and go over our conference standings, and then we can get on out of here. So our beloved Old Dominion Monarchs got the big win in Miami, 49-14. We just saw that one. USF takes down East Carolina, 38-21. USF also off to a very good start at 6-1, 1-1 in conference, and James Madison beats App State, puts James Madison at 6-1, 2-0 in the Sun Belt with a win over Old Dominion. That could loom large later on in the season. Then to the American, we saw Bowling Green get that big win against Army, pushing them to 2-5, 1-1 in conference. Army down to 3-4. But I tell you, Army's another one of those teams who just always plays very entertaining games. Our game against Army went to overtime, or double overtime even. We played a really good game. He's always been in very close games. Temple takes down Western Kentucky 30-9. Temple 5-2. Another very good start for the Temple Owls here. Buffalo and Marshall. So just a quick summary of what happens in these kind of situations. So there's 3 different situations, and they all came up this week. For Buffalo and Marshall, both just had very limited schedules throughout. Typically it's 72 hours we have to play these games. Throughout the holidays we extended it a little bit, but still they were just never able to make a time work. But they were both in communication with each other. They were trying, it just never worked out. So this is just gonna be a straight CPU sim. It's not one guy wasn't available, one guy wasn't talking, anything like that. They were both working, both trying to get it to go, just didn't work out. So this is just gonna be a CPU sim between Buffalo and Marshall. We'll get to the other examples here in a second. Toledo, we saw get the win against Navy. Toledo now 7-0, 2-0 in conference. So if this sim goes Marshall's way, which it might not, I don't know. Marshall could be 7-0 and 3-0 in the American. Toledo, we can just talk about it when we get to conference standings. We're still gonna look at that in a second. Conference USA. So Rice takes down Louisiana Tech. A top 25 ranked Rice moves to 6-1. North Texas beats Southern Miss. North Texas 6-1. Texas State takes down Sam Houston. Texas State 7-0, and UAB in Louisiana. This is another one of those situations I was talking about. UAB was completely unavailable throughout this entire period. Well, at least he thought he was. He's supposed to be on vacation. Kids got sick or something. Some stuff like that happens. Whatever. Either way, he already offered to give the forced win to Louisiana. So this is, at least there was communication. UAB let everybody know, hey, I'm not going to be available for this week. Just give Louisiana the win. So Louisiana will be getting a forced win in this one, moving them to 7-0. Now, the last type of situation, and the worst kind of situation, is what happens here with teams like San Diego State, where they just are completely gone. They completely ghost everybody. And this has been like 5 days. So in situations like this, and considering we have a wait list of 20 people, if you go completely ghost throughout an entire week, unfortunately, you're out of here, and it's me next man up on the wait list, which actually this can be a little bit different because we have the guy who is UAB, was in this league in the beginning and was San Diego State before he had to step out. Now he just came back in like 2 weeks ago, so we're going to let him take back over his San Diego State team, and the next person on the wait list is going to take UAB. But yeah, if you just go completely MIA and ghost for an entire 72-hour period, a 72-hour plus period, you're unfortunately just going to have to be removed. But if you know you're going to be unavailable and just let somebody know, totally fine. Not a problem. Elsewhere in the Mountain West, though, Tulsa, number 4 in the country, an unbelievable defensive line. He has put a great squad together and puts a whooping on New Mexico State. Utah State gets back on the board with a win here, 49-13 against Fresno, and Oregon State and Colorado State played another great game. Oregon State so far has been in a ton of really fun games too, but they get the win in that one, 42-36. So we can go take a quick look at our full conference standings here, as we are 20 minutes away from wrapping up week 8. In the Sun Belt, we've got James Madison sitting on top. Georgia State also 7-0, 3-0 in conference, and a whole bunch of us with one loss. FIU, Georgia Southern, ODU, and USF. ECU and Appalachian State kind of falling behind a little bit here early on in conference play. Still a lot can change. There's still a lot that can change. But in the American, we've got a fun race shaping up here between Marshall, Toledo, and Buffalo. So this is actually going to be a big sim between Buffalo and Marshall. They're both 79 overall, 79 offense, 79 defense. I have no idea what's going to happen in the sim between these two, but it's actually pretty big for American Conference implications there. We've also got 1-1 Temple and 1-1. I mean, Bowling Green, he did just take them over a little bit ago, so I don't know what to expect from Bowling Green, but they are 1-1 in conference with Temple, and you can still easily make some noise there with those Bowling Green Falcons. Conference USA, this is going to be quite the race all season long. We know that. We knew that coming in. Louisiana is going to be 7-0, 2-0 in conference, number 6 in the country. Texas State is 7-0, 2-0 in conference. Rice, 6-1, 2-0 in conference. Then the one-loss teams, we're going to have Louisiana Tech, Gravediggers, another new team. So to be 4-3 with a 67 overall squad, pretty solid. And then North Texas, 79 overall, 6-1, 1-1 in conference. So CUSA is going to be a super fun race to watch throughout the season. So is the Mountain West, as we have Tulsa 7-0, 2-0 in conference. Oregon State 6-1, 2-0 in conference. UNLV is going to get to 5-2 and 3-0 in conference with their forced win this week. San Diego State's going to drop to 1-1. Utah State, of course, we can't write them out either. They're 1-1 with their one loss to San Diego State, so they still have to play Tulsa, Oregon State, and UNLV. Mountain West is prime for some chaos here throughout the season as well. So that is how all of our conference stands. That is how everything went down in week 8. We will be back. I don't know why it just went to that. We will be back. We've got a user game against East Carolina that'll be out either tomorrow or the next day here for week 9, our start of the triple option gauntlet, as we go East Carolina and then those 2 Georgia teams that we just featured. So hope you guys enjoyed this one. I will see you guys then. Until then, take it easy.